Hi, guys. Welcome back to another Balanced Boss Mom podcast episode. I'm your host, Erika, and today we are going to have a wonderful conversation where motherhood meets faith. It also meets the balance of realistic situations, which I am so excited to have. For me, this episode, I know I don't get into things spiritually or politically because there's five things that my grandmother has taught me, and two of those are on those pillars. So I'm going to break down a little bit more of myself this year for 2026 because I stated the word for my year is alignment. And so, with the word for alignment for this year, I'm kind of breaking down the walls of another version of myself. So, you get a little bit of spiritual revolution in this episode. So if you don't want to hear this episode, you're more than welcome to leave. I really don't give two things. I want to say the other word, and I am SHIT because I really don't care. But as I stated, today we're talking about productivity that feels peaceful. Again, the word alignment and freeing, and not feeling like you have to pressure or give in to whatever you seek or find. I have one amazing guest that I have been dying for you guys to meet. I've been behind the scenes talking for the past couple weeks. Um, she's here. She's ready to talk, and she got a lot to say. And see, I met my last guest. I made her laugh. So for me to make you laugh, that makes me happy. So I am joined by Lisa, a productivity coach for faith-fulfilled mompreneurs who want to create thriving businesses. So, hey, I'm a mompreneur. Help me thrive, okay? And make sure that your homes feel free, have a safe space, feel comfortable in what you're doing. While we're in this discussion, again, we're talking about values, what aligns, what doesn't align. So again, if you don't like what's happening here, you can kick the door, okay? Now, without further ado, I am so honored and so grateful for you to be here this evening with me. Lisa, welcome to the Balanced Boss Mom podcast.
Thank you so much, Erika, for having me. I'm excited to have a real talk today and real powerful discussions.
I'm excited for you to be here. It's like I said, we've been talking behind the scenes for those that don't know. I am so cool with um meeting other moms that have businesses and that are thriving and that want to have the success that they want to build in their own minds, like being a visionary in their own minds, so to speak. So we're just going to talk freely, have a girlfriend conversation here this evening. If, like I said, people feel uncomfortable, you can pause it, you can leave it, you can rewind it. I really don't give a shit. I don't at this point. We're grown. So, Lisa, before we dive in, I love for you to introduce yourself in your own words. Who you are, where you're from, how you started your business, and then include what is your word of the year for 2026.
Okay, well, we're getting right into it, Erika. So,
Mhm.
my name is Lisa Autry. I'm a productivity coach for Christian mompreneurs. So, what does that mean? I help women make their business fun, free, and flowing. I love to lead with our value system, what's most important to us. We can organize our time for freedom, and we can make as much money as we need. I am very anti hustle culture. I believe in the naps. I believe in rest, and with rest comes authentic creation.
Mm.
So, my specific demographic, I work with moms who are ready to kick chaos to the curb, what are ready to energetically create and make as much money as they need. And I've been an entrepreneur for over 12 years. I've
Okay.
had my business, Lisa Autry Coaching, for over 8 years, and I have helped hundreds of women organize not only their personal life, but their business life. And we do not realize how much our personal life plays into our professional life. And so, speaking of my word of the year, yes, I am a Christian woman, and my journey has actually only started 5 years ago. So I've been an entrepreneur for a long time before I actually found God and had
Mhm.
very spiritual awakening. And so I have shifted a lot, but this year's theme is for his glory. So everything in
Mm.
alignment with my life, I ask the question, how is this going to further the kingdom, and how is this going to further his glory? From my conversations with my clients down to the minutia of what I do every single day. I'm a homeschooling mom, first and foremost, of 3 young children.
Mhm.
And so I have to be so good with my time and energy. And so that's what I do with others as well. We can have a tidy home, we can have more time in on our hands, and we can have more money in our bank account. But it means putting what's most important at the forefront
Mhm.
and being energetically creating so that anything is possible.
I like that. Not a lot of people are taking that extra step or that leap to start their own business. Now, before I even started the podcast originally, I had a t-shirt business. A lot of people don't know, some do know, but had a t-shirt business. It's still out there that people go on the Instagram and they look. And from time to time, I'll still make like creations and do my daughter's t-shirts. But I took that leap a couple years ago, I think 2021, when TikTok like first started, and I started the whole t-shirt business. This was before the podcast. Started the t-shirt business. Things were going great. I was in school, getting my bachelor's for healthcare administration. Still working on that. Got 50 credits left. Woo, before I graduate. Um, Went into the t-shirt business. It was really great. It was going massively well. Ended up in a sorority. Come to find out, didn't feel that the sorority was very aligned with me. Left the sorority, which I'm going to keep that closed, but we'll talk about it behind the scenes. Ended up leaving the sorority, coming out of that feeling one free, feeling a little bit better. I did go through a little bit of depression because I thought these people were my friends and they weren't. Ended up tarnishing the business, telling people not to come to my business, um, saying that I didn't like a certain demographic, which is not true. And don't twist my words on podcast people. I'm just saying. But said I didn't like a certain demographic. With me, I love everybody. So just putting it out there. And so fell into a little bit of a depression because I had lost clients and things of that. Didn't pick the Cricut machine back up for months until my daughter was like, "Hey mom, can you make me 100-day of school t-shirt?" And I'm like, sure, the disconnect here. Okay. Did that, made my daughter's t-shirt. I was like, okay, well, I'm going to start getting back into the things, how I'm going to get the clients back and all of that. And then I was like, you know what? I like, making crafts and stuff, but maybe it's just meant for me and my daughter to have on the side and not something to put on the forefront.
Mhm.
So fast forward, have this wonderful, beautiful podcast that started in April of 2025. I put this on a vision board. And I said, okay, I want to have a podcast on the vision board. But I was like, what kind of podcast do I want it to be? So I was like, okay, well, maybe I got a Cricut, maybe I can implement that. Then I thought about it. Who's going to listen to a machine for 30 minutes? No one. So then I was like, wrong answer. So then I was like, I got to keep thinking. So one night I was asleep. I took a nap. I rarely take naps anymore because as a mom, we wear all different hats. So I was asleep. I didn't realize I had my cell phone and I woke up out this dead sleep and it was the weirdest thing. And I said, you know what? I'm going to record. I'm going to push myself out there and we're going to see what are the chances of somebody saying no to a recording, right? Post my first maybe 2-3 episodes. I was like, okay, this is cool. This is catchy. People like it. It's on Fridays. It's at 6:30. So I've got a day. I got a time. People like it. It's like, okay, well, we got to figure out a name. I was like, well, I'm a mom. It's a podcast. I said, I do balance a lot of roles. You got to be a mom, a friend, the doctor, the lawyer, the tax preparer, all of that. So I was like, that's where the balance came in. And then I was like, maybe the word "the." And so that's how it formed out, the For the Balance Boss Mom podcast. And now you are my 42nd guest on the podcast, which is pretty
Awesome.
exciting.
That is.
And so I want for those that to get to know a little bit more about me, but not only about you, I have a couple questions for you. So how would you best describe if someone was to come up to you or like someone that didn't even know you, what's the best word to describe who you are?
Challenger. I am a tenacious challenger, and it goes back to my Enneagram. My Enneagram is a challenger.
Mhm.
I I help people realize the drive in themselves, and I'm not happy with people just floating through life. I want people to be committed and take ownership over their life.
Mhm.
And so everyone can describe me as a challenger. They're like, man, Lisa will challenge you to rise. And it's not for my glory. It's for all of us to realize our potential and to live
Mhm.
our purpose. So that is, my husband's been saying it for years. He's like, man, Lisa, like you're really ready to challenge anyone. So that is the best word to describe me, challenger. And it happens to be my Enneagram. That's Enneagram 8. Anyone that's an Enneagram 8 knows exactly what
Mhm.
I'm talking
That is cool. And then, so another question I have is, what is something that people don't know about you that they would be surprised about?
I love naps.
Yeah,
That
don't
is
we
when you
all?
said naps. I'm like, people would be surprised because I run a full-time business. I have a
Mhm.
team on my with my business.
Mhm.
It's very, very successful. God is blessing me beyond measure. I have 3 children, 9, 7, and 2. And I make sure I make time for my faith every single day, but I
Mhm.
also make time for my naps. And so when
Mhm.
people see someone that's a high performer that operates at such a high level,
Mhm.
people are like, she must go all the time. No, I have a lot of breath. I'm fun, free, and flowing means breath in my day. And
Mhm.
one of my top 5 values is freedom. And freedom means naps for me in this season of life. I love a good like 2 p.m. nap,
Yeah.
just snuggling up. Like it starts out reading, but we all know where it's going.
Knowing
Like I
where
just
it's yes, I for myself,
everyone's shocked.
if you don't have a nap in your life, moms, something is wrong. Because today I actually was like, oh my God, between my last interview and the one tonight, I could take a nap. I was like, I'm not going to send out too many emails. If an email happens, it's going to sit there until I wake up from this nap. And sure enough, I took a nap and I was like, okay, we're ready to rock and we're ready to roll and have a good time this evening. So I'm
I
glad
have
I
a
took my
challenge
nap.
for you, Erica.
Uh-oh.
Commit to this next week, commit to
Mhm.
2 to 3 naps. Like literally when and you don't have to nap, like you
Mhm.
can just rest, but not on your phone,
Mhm.
not being productive, because that with that breath, the calm aligns with creation because then your
Yes.
mind will start flourishing with a bunch of ideas. When we're operating at such a high level all the time, like
Mhm.
this is my naps. And I also do art with my girls while my son is sleeping. And we do this all the time because the art of creation sparks further creativity. So my
Mhm.
naps and my art are like huge for me.
I know, and I gotta get big on the naps this year because, like, for me, it's between working a day job and then doing the podcast, which I love podcasting because for me it's learning every different walk of life and I take something away from every different episode. And I
Yeah.
get so excited because I'm like, who would have thought to be on a podcast like mine? Like what? Like who, but then again, I'm like, who wouldn't want to be on a podcast? I'm speaking life into it. And
Mhm.
so I feel like I'm gonna take on your challenge because I need more naps, to be honest. Like,
Well, you said your word of the year is alignment, and you
mhm,
want to align in all areas of your life, not just professionally, but personally.
mhm.
And naps are a part of pouring into your health and your self-care. And you have a daughter, Erica, you can inspire her to lead with breath. Like that's a very powerful thing, you know?
That's something I really want because she does look at me and she's like, "Mom, you work too much." And I'm like, "If only you knew why I work too much. There's bills. You're asking for the field trip to be paid for. You're asking for field day money. You asking for lunch money. Somebody got to bring in the bacon. It's
Yeah.
you can't bring in the bacon because you're only 8 years old. So I love her. I do. She is. I want to say she says the magical unicorn in her little universe. So I'm like, okay, you are magical, my little unicorn.
I love that.
So let's talk about productivity because for many moms, such as myself, there is so much heaviness in not really being like having the productivity or know what to do with productivity. So, how do
Mhm.
you define productivity in a way that supports moms such as myself instead of competing with productivity?
Yeah, so this is a really great question. And productivity does feel like a heavy word
Mhm.
because why does it? It's because we do so much on a daily basis that, like, how could we give any more? So when we hear productivity, it sounds like a whole job in and of itself
Mhm.
instead of freedom. So we know discipline equals freedom. And with productivity, that means having a purpose in place for everything in our day and everything in our life. So I want you all to think of productivity as rhythms. So when you're looking at
Mm,
your day, I want you to look at your day from a standpoint of what do I choose to do and who do I choose to be versus what do I have to get done. That shift in our mindset
mhm,
helps us tackle it positively versus, oh, what do I have to do? And we want to look at every single day as a blessing, even if it's a hard blessing, right? It's
mhm,
teaching us something. Our hardships teach us far more than our successes. You
mhm.
know, when I've launched something and it has failed, it's like, what can I learn from this? And it has driven me in a very positive direction instead of saying, woe is me, right?
Right.
With productivity, I want you guys to have an empowered stance and say, I have 24 hours in a day. How do I choose to spend that? Um, about 5 years ago, when I was writing my book,
Mhm,
productivity was a big factor in it. It's the Real Mom's Playbook. But one of my pillars of success is routines. And that's a scary word for people. So
mhm,
I wanted to sensitize them because Erika, we are raising the next generation. Leaving a legacy is a huge undertaking and something we should not take lightly. And so, what does that mean? We need to take extreme ownership of our time and our energy, not
mhm,
only for ourselves to feel fulfilled, but also to teach our children how to lead their life someday, especially because we have daughters, Erika. We're
mhm.
raising to be leaders of their household someday.
Right.
And when I was researching for my book, I was like, how much can us moms realistically handle in a day? And, I was getting a variety of data, like from a man, he said one thing, and I laughed because I'm like, you obviously don't have children, right? I was reading others, it was like, you can handle 16, 20 things. I'm like, that feels like a lot. So I created this methodology called the power of six.
Mhm,
And the power of six allows you to look at your day in six unique buckets based on what's most important to you, also known as your value system. We
okay.
have large objectives, three small objectives, and it's divided over 12 hours in a day. Why? I know I didn't forget math. I didn't skip school. I know there's 24 hours in a day, but I want you to have 12 productive hours. I want you to
Mhm,
have 12. The other 12 is just wasted time and sleeping, right?
mhm.
So when we look at this, the power of six is six objectives divided up amongst 12 hours in a day. And I'm telling you, Erika, this isn't just productive time because on my list for tomorrow on my power of six is a nap, but it's aligned with my health value. So
Okay.
what's most important to me means that I am pouring time into those things. So, to give you an example, my top 5 values, and I have a test on this if anyone's interested, it's faith, health, family, meaningful work, and freedom.
Mhm,
From there, I pour into my buckets every single day something for faith, something for family, something for health. I give 6 buckets for the reason like household
mhm.
may not be a value, but we need to do laundry. We need to do these things, right?
Right.
And so the power of six gives you, as you were saying, like an empowered stance in the form of productivity. How do I choose to show up? I do my power of six every night for tomorrow
Mhm.
so that I can go to sleep intentionally and say, here's how I'm going to choose to show up because we only get this day once. And once it's gone, we've
It's
spent
over.
time.
It's
Yeah. And
over.
so
Yep.
productivity means starting small and putting intention into the things that are truly important for us.
I like that. I like that you talk about the power of six. It does enlighten me in reference to what I want to do for the future.
Mhm.
Because you are right. We do have daughters. We do have to build that legacy to where um it's not often talked about in our generation, like where generational wealth or having boundaries. And it's cool for me to see that you can have a boundary and you can say, hey, this boundary you've crossed, it's not working. Or to have the productivity in line of what you're aligned with the alignment, like for me for 2026. So I like that you stated that for 2026, as well as trying to get the naps because I got to get better because tomorrow I'm going to start I'm going to get the challenge.
It takes a small shift, Erica. So, as moms, we already feel taxed and it feels like a huge undertaking to add something else.
Mm-hmm.
But look at where you've said yes to and where you need to say no to. And this is where understanding your value system is so important, because if you test your values, then you know what you're supposed to be working on and what you're not supposed to be working on, you know?
Mm-hmm. And it's tough because it's finally, for example, I have said for this year, I said, I'm going to do a vacation this year. It's one of the things I've put on my vision board. And I said, you know what? My job does not, you have to think about it. A job is not going to think of you as a human being. They think of you as a number and a statistic. And I started replaying in my mind last year. I was like, I didn't take note. Like I took time off, but I didn't take time off. And so for this year, I decided, I said, you know what? Let me put in some days and see if it works. Now, they gave me some of the holidays, and I think I was off on Thanksgiving, and I was off for Christmas, but Christmas Eve I think I had to work. Or no, the day after Christmas. I'm sorry, I had to work. So they gave me Christmas and Christmas Eve, but the day after they were like, nope, you got to come into work. I was like, that's not cool because I put this in 4 months ago. But then I said, you know what? My daughter's spring break is coming up. And I'm taking the whole week off. I said, I don't want to hear, you can't take this off. You don't have enough of this. I'm requesting it and it's just going to work. They approved the whole week.
Awesome.
So I was like, now I have to figure out, my daughter's out of school. I'm going to be out of work for that whole week. And I'm like, we're going to have fun. I don't know what we're
Yes.
going to do. I don't know where we're going to go, if we're going to the movies, going shopping, whatever we're going to do. I'm finally going to be like, you know what? I'm giving my daughter a chance to just have some fun
Let's
with her mom.
Yeah, let's brainstorm a fun, free, and flowing week for you too. That could be fun.
Yeah, I give me a nap in there too, because I really want that. So, why do you think traditional productivity advice fails moms so often?
This is a great question. So, traditional productivity fails because our days are so fluid. When you have one person, even one person that depends on you,
Mhm.
you need to be easy. Like, you need to position yourself to be very fluid and pivot at a moment's notice.
Mm,
You know, you never
mm,
know if the school's going to call because your daughter's sick. Like, we plan our time blocking, doing strict calendar systems.
mhm,
That doesn't afford for when chaos happens. As moms, we're shooting for 85% success, 15% chaos management. So when your daughter calls and is like, Mom, come pick me up, like, you can position yourself to pivot and
mhm,
have grace with it. I love the saying that earthly interruptions are divine interventions. I truly believe
mm,
that, because we often feel that, oh, why are they bothering me? Or what is this? But God is always trying to tell us things in the mundane shifts. And so with productivity, we have felt like as moms, it doesn't apply to us
mhm.
because our day, I have my clients be like, not every day is the same. Exactly.
Because
Because
every
we
day
are
is
mom.
different.
Yeah,
Being a
every day
mom,
is
every
different.
day is different. You're not going to
Yes,
get the same repeated go to work, go home, or go to work, cook and clean. Some days you just want to go to the drive-through and get something to eat and just be done with the day. Things are different. And
exactly.
that's something I'm trying to tell my best friend, because I think what it is when you're in your 20s, for example, you're learning these things, you're shaping, you're molding. You don't know everything like we think we do when we were say, oh, I can't wait till we turn 18 and get out the house because we think we know everything. And we don't. Mom, shout out to you. I understand now fully at 35. All right. But with my best friend, I had to explain to her, I said, look, when you have a baby, it's done. It's not about you anymore. It's about putting your child first. So you're like, oh, I'm so exhausted. I said, child, I've been exhausted for almost 8 years. Are you kidding me? Like, you only got two, maybe three buckets out of the year, and it
Yeah.
graduates. It doesn't stop. And so she's like, well, I need a nap. I'm so tired. And you don't get the privilege to have the naps anymore. You can't just drop the child off anywhere and just be like, you know what, I'm just going to take a nap. Bye. I said, I wish, okay, that I can just be like, you know what, my little unicorn, you're going to your grandmother's house and you're just going to take it. No, okay. My daughter's been attached to me at the hip. And I said, when vacations arise and things like that, it's not about you anymore. It's not. And so you have to kind of shed it's like being a snake and you're shedding the old skin all the time.
Yep.
That
Yep.
snake is not going to keep that old skin anymore. It's going to shed it off because it's old, it's dingy, it's gone. It's just like your 20s. You're shedding that skin off, you're entering your 30s, and you kind of have to revert back to who were you before you were a mom. And I think that's a lot of challenges that moms have too, where we have that identity of who were we in our 20s? What did we do that was fun in our 20s? Can we bring that funness into our 30s? And I think it aligns with the productivity and the pillars that you have, because once you have that freedom to say, I don't want to do this job anymore, or just say, no, this is not the right time anymore, which I like. I like how when we were having a conversation where you were like, you know what, my day is done. I'll pick back this up tomorrow. And I was like, no one's ever told me that before. Like, I was in shock because I was like, you don't keep going till like you get tired. And like, for me, I'm like, because I get off late from work, my brain is still like, I got to keep going. I got to keep going. And it's not coming off until maybe 2.
Mm-hmm.
And
how's the sleep schedule, Erika?
that's why I need naps in my life now. Lisa is just not working for me anymore.
Erika, this goes back to really good boundaries. When we have good boundaries, the boundaries aren't for other people, it's for ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
And so I make a hard rule, like when I am done, I stamp my day with good enough, a stamp of approval, reflect, and then move onward. And so many of us, we carry such a mental load, which is actually, a lot of us have shoulder and neck problems because we carry it all right here. And so my challenge to all of you listening is the business will be there tomorrow and the to-dos will be there tomorrow. If it's not on your power of 6, it's not done. And with those objectives, it's like, okay, here is where I'm going to move forward in my life. And this will be good enough. And so, I know my optimal time is not the nighttime. So I cut out like right after this, I'm done for the day, and
I love that, because it's like you cut it right off. And like for me, I'm probably going to be like, I have something else I have to do.
And let me tell you, Erika, as a business owner, there will always be something to do. But this is my challenge to all of you. I want you to do before bed tonight a reflection period. You have to get it all out of your mental load and put it on paper, because then you can release. And when it's out of your mind, it's not clogging up your mental load. So then you can have good quality sleep. And then when you write your power of 6 for the night before, and I'll tell you guys how to do it in just a second. When you write your power of 6 the night before, you're going to sleep and you're actually processing those things and conducting, like if you have to make a call tomorrow, your brain is actually subconsciously preparing for that call. Or if you have to send an email, your brain is subconsciously typing up that email. So guess what? When you go into it the next day, you're faster because your brain's already processed it. Now, with the power of 6, I shared that it's 6 objectives. Does it mean we're just doing 6 things in a day? No. I want you to picture 6 buckets in front of you. And within that, you're putting tasks in that specific bucket. So as an example, you have your family bucket. So Erika, you and your daughter, maybe you guys will, go and do homework together. Maybe you have within your family bucket, you have breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So do you see how in that one bucket, you have 4 things for that day? Maybe you have to do a load of laundry and you want to put a time on it. So they need to add to 12 hours. So you could say, oh, in my family bucket, I'm going to spend 3 hours that day. That means you have 9 hours left to apply to something. If you work outside of the home, work is probably going to be 2 of your buckets. And so you're looking at this and you're saying, okay, in this day, I'm going to have time with my daughter. I'm going to have time on the household. I'm going to have time. Maybe you want to listen to your newest podcast episode. Maybe your work is analyzing the podcast episode. So you have an hour for that. And so these hours a lot, and anything that's not on located complicated on your list,
Mm-hmm.
it is not for today. And so that's where your boundary line can just help you decompress, say, oh, that's not on my list. I'm going to write that on my list for tomorrow
Mm-hmm.
or
Okay.
several days later. With those boundaries, we're able to be the people we need to be. I couldn't run a 6-figure business if I was working all the time. The moment I actually backed off and stopped doing so much in my business is where it started being more fun, free, and flowing, and the finances started flowing in. Who would think that, right?
Right. And that's very interesting and very intriguing in my mind because it's like I like how you talked about the six, like the six buckets. And I like that I visioned just now where like, okay, family time, you can put these certain like a movie night. I try my
Mhm.
best like every weekend to do a movie night with her. Especially with all these new movies coming out. Like she just told me like Goat, I think it's coming out next week. She's like, I want to go see Goat. Okay, well, I
That's one of
understand.
your power of six that day
One of
then.
my
So
yeah.
you decide that's one of your power of six. And then you guys can decide, are you going to get popcorn? Like, what are you going to
Mhm.
do? Make it
Make
fun,
it
right?
fun for her. And like what really struck me is when she said, like, mommy, you work so much. And I was like, you know what? You're absolutely right. I do work a lot, but you have to understand if you could see through your mom's eyes why mommy works so much, then you would kind of be like, okay, I get it, but you can't. You don't understand that just yet until you're older. And so for me, I was like, you know what? You're right. I'm gonna make this a yin and a yang situation where I don't have to work this much. Like I used to do overtime at work. Now I'm like, I see the overtime sheet and I'm like, I'm not even doing overtime. I'm done for the day. It's a wrap. So,
Well, Erica, you know what's amazing? My children used to say the same thing until I started. So I naturally am a workaholic. I want to work all the time because I love creation. I get very excited. Like I just want to be talking to people all the time. And then I asked myself, are my children getting the best of me? Are they getting a present mother? And I realized I was spending so much time working, and that intervention with my children, or that interruption with my children and them
mhm,
reminding me that was my divine intervention. God is telling me you need to back off, you need to trust, you're put in management of certain things, and then put a stamp of approval on it and move on, because there will always be to-do lists, there will always be laundry, there will always be things to do, and we can't let it overtake the purpose of our existence. And our purpose isn't just to be mothers. There is
mhm,
to us, but it's also like the way we can inspire and lead, and the way in which we're teaching others around us to inspire and lead their lives as well.
mhm. And like you said, like being present is something that when you're present in the moment with your children, you don't get that time back
No.
because
Once it's gone, it's
once it's
gone.
gone, it's over with and it's done.
Yeah.
And
Hmm.
that's the thing where it kind of hit me this past week because she turned 8 this week. I was like, wow, she's 8 years old. This is like it's happening now. It's like it's now or never. Like I gotta,
Yes.
you know, we've been attached at the hip since you were born, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But now this is like I have to pay attention to everything that she,
Yes.
wants to be
And
in.
she's changing so rapidly, and she will continue.
She is.
Who she was when she's one is gone. Like that's no longer her. And we have the beauty of getting to know all of them.
Mhm.
And we want to make sure we're setting time aside for that. Like that's actually a beautiful thing. Like what a beautiful thing we get to do. We
Mhm.
just want to make sure we're present for it. Go
And
see Goat. We're gonna have
I'm
fun.
gonna see though because I've been looking at that commercial and I'm like, this is kind of nice, kind of funny. It reminds me of Space Jam, but then I was like,
Oh, is it?
it kind of
Okay.
reminds me of that, but it's like I guess it's about a basketball player. I think it's about Steph Curry because he's like the director of the
Okay.
movie, and I was like, oh, okay, this I think it's like a basketball type of thing. So I was like, we're gonna go see Goat. So
That's
and so
beautiful.
I love how we're going to get into a little bit of a spiritual realm where you were speaking about faith is such a core part of your work.
Yes.
And how does your faith shape the way you approach your time, your goals, your values, and your boundaries in general?
So this is a huge thing for me. And this is one that, like I said, I was not Christian. I had no connection with God until 5 years ago. This will be my 6th year. And so really walking this with him has been a very different journey for myself, but a very impactful one. And now I lean into him for everything. So last year we rebranded. My business used to be called The Daughter Diaries. It's gone through about 4 evolutions. It's very different. And so I actually, though, felt pressed to remove CEO from everything, because I no longer look at my business as I'm the CEO. I'm the founder. God is the CEO, because all along these last 3 years, he has been taking care of it. He has been looking after it. I'm just showing up and doing the things he's telling me to, so that I can bless others. And so faith for me is everything in my business. This is why my mantra for this year is for his glory, because I look at my top 5 values and say, how can I lead a faith journey for his glory? How can I lead my health journey, steward my body well for his glory? How can I lead my family for his glory? How can I impact with my work for his glory? Like, what do my clients need to hear? How can I challenge them to rise so God can bless them too? And then how can I lead with my freedom for his glory? You know, God told me many years ago, you need to put things down. You do not need to work constantly. I will take care of it, but you have to just manage what is within your realm. And that's why, like, scripture talks about this all the time. Rest is found within me, in Jesus. My yoke is easy to bear. It's not easy to bear when we are feeling like we have to control everything. We are actually not in control of our lives. God gives us free will, and he has us be the manager of our lives. He has us inspire and lead with our voices, with our heart, with our nurture. And so my faith is everything. And my husband and I, we've been together for 20 years now, and I've gone through this huge transformation. And he even said, like, you're the embodiment of peace. And that was not me at all,
Oh,
Erika. I was
wow.
very, really stressed out. And so God has just consistently been refining me. And I have to tell you, it was at the close of a very big injury. So I was 32 weeks pregnant, and I fell and I broke my hand. It was very horrific injury. I had to have surgery on my hand pregnant while awake. So don't recommend that. They had to put a spinal block in my shoulder because you don't want to feel the surgery. And they hit the wrong nerve, and I went blind and deaf. And I luckily regained my sight the next day, but my hearing still comes and goes in this side because there's nerve damage. And through all of that, I cried out to God. It was a very huge moment for me. I said, God, because I had no pain medication. I did everything unmedicated to protect my son. And I said, God, if you take this pain away from me, everything will be yes, Lord. And I will not question anything that you ask me to do. Erika, I kid you not, within 20 minutes, my pain was completely gone. Through all of my surgeries, I never had that pain again. It started coming on. I said, God, I'm asking again. He took it away. And I truly believe that moment was to tell me, you're not in control. I am. Follow my ways. I am going to show you how to disciple others. And it honestly makes me tear up, because at my darkest moment, that was my guiding light, you know? And I walk so differently now. People that knew me from my past, they're like, that's not Lisa, because I am truly a transformed person. And that leads the way I facilitate my time, the way I speak to others, and the way I lead my business. Like, I truly believe faith can be a pivotal moment for us, you know?
It really can. It's he gives you a lesson in every blessing that you have to search for.
Yes.
There's been so many dark moments for myself. Just this past, it's 31 days since my last lesson. And this one has, when you go through a dark tunnel that no one knows about, some people may know, but no one knows about, and you're dealing with it silently, it's a different type of hole. If it's a different type of hellhole that you're going through. And with me recently, probably when they hear this in April and they look at this, and today, 31 days ago for me, I lost another kid. I had a miscarriage. And this is my 4th miscarriage. And this, when you talk about faith and you talk about walking through it and you give everything upon him, it's like, all right, okay, God, you did it once. I'm okay with it, because that's your first experience. You did it twice. All right. You're we're going through it again. Cool. You give it to me the third time. All right. What are you trying to say? Like, what is it that you're trying to say? But this fourth time, I'm like, all right, this is enough. Like, this is enough. And to see if it triggers you guys, I'm sorry, but to see the embryo, like, I went through this at home. To see this like this was my first time where I was like, I give up.
Mhm.
These last 31 days, I haven't told anybody this, not even my spouse. These last 31 days, I'm just like, hi, good morning, everything's fine. But when I'm at work and I have to hear the calls like, hey, I'm pregnant, and then I have to say something like, well, congratulations on your pregnancy. And once again, it's only been 31. This is still fresh for me.
It's fresh and
It's
raw.
fresh and raw for me. So, and it's like now I'm still going through that I don't tell anybody. And I think it's good that this year I'm kind of doing the word alignment. And then also I want to get into journaling, because everybody's been like, Erika, you got to go to therapy. It's time. Like, you can't keep saying you're going to therapy and not. I said, no, I just don't. You need to make the time. No, I've had therapists, had one ghosted me, don't really feel no, you need to go to therapy. Even the doctor that's on my previous episodes, Dr. Elizabeth, I thank God she answered my phone, because she's like, Erika, you gotta go. You have to go to therapy. This is something you're not gonna be able to get out of, because it's fresh, it's new. And I'm glad that we crossed paths and talked a little bit about faith, because it's like right now I'm in that hole. No one knows that I'm in this hole. My mom's probably going to hear this and be like, why haven't you told me? Because I've talked about it in a couple episodes so far, but she's probably going to be like, oh my God, why haven't you told me? And it's like, I don't want to put that burden on her, and be like, hey, by the way, 2020, 2025, Christmas Day, I was pregnant. And then Christmas, right before New Year's Eve, I lost the baby. And, I was 7 weeks, everything. I saw the eye, it's just, it sucks. It's
Yeah.
a hole that you can't get out of. And sometimes I cry about it. Sometimes I have to put this face on and just be like, I'm not going to cry, because it's still that subject that not a lot of people talk about. Some people
It is very taboo in our society, and people have a hard time talking about it. They're like, oh, sorry, and they want to ignore it. I will tell you, though, the enemy wants us to keep our pain in the dark. And when we keep it in the dark, he can insert doubt and fear and anger and resentment. And I know I lost my first child, so I know exactly like that feeling of that resentment and anger. And the enemy uses that to thwart the beautiful things in your life, and
Mhm.
even the beautiful realization that you've lost 4 babies now, you said,
This is
Erica?
yeah, this is my fourth miscarriage. Yeah.
In heaven, you get to meet those 4
Well,
beautiful babies.
yeah.
And what a beautiful blessing that will be, and when that time comes. And it doesn't supersede the pain now, but I want to share with you, like, sharing it is therapeutic and it is healing, because that was a life. You carried that life, and that life will exist in heaven. So I'm actually reading this book right now by John MacArthur, Safe in the Arms of God. And
Mhm.
it's why we lose our children and where they go. And it's been such a beautiful realization for me. And I didn't know I needed to read this. I think I needed to read it to share it with you. Your pain should not be mitigated. Like, let yourself feel it.
And
It's real and it's raw, you know?
it sucks, because it's like I want to just go through it. Like, of course, I got 3 days off from work. They only gave me 3 days, but it's. I feel like sometimes I'm like, I need longer than 3 days, because it's 31 days. You're just like, now I'm kind of thinking in my head. A couple weeks ago, in my head, I had the baby app, and I was
Mhm.
kind of like, oh wow, it was like baby Hill is about to
Yeah.
be 2 months, and I was like, okay, I gotta delete this, and I don't talk about it. It sucks. Like, I have a picture of the baby, of course, and I kind of keep it to myself, because my spouse was like, well, when are you going to share it with me? And I said, this is something you'll never come back from. If I share this with you, you will never come back from this. I said, I understand that you want to see and all of that. I said, I did it because, here in Texas, they're not helping pregnant women. And so I was like, if I end up going to the hospital, they're going to ask me a million questions, go through all that. I just didn't want to go to the hospital. I already knew what I was, I've been through it like 3 other times. And so, like, me sharing this with people is going to let them know that I'm still having faith that eventually one day I'm going to have another kid. My daughter will have another sibling. I'm trying to keep positive about it, but I still go back and forth and be like, do I want another? Do I, but it had to be shared because a lot of people need to understand just because you're in a black hole, you still need to try to find faith surrounding by that. And
Yes.
I'm seeking that a lot right now. I
Good.
know I'm putting myself into a predicament of working a lot. And I think it's because I'm blocking out that feeling of I don't want to feel that too much, or watching a certain TV show and it kind of triggers. So I'm kind of like, not going to watch that, kind of turn it off. But I do understand and I do hear you where you're saying like, I do need to recognize my feelings and get that hump across. It's just, I haven't met that hump just yet because I'm still like, it's not there for me just yet.
Yeah. And God gave us these feelings. There's nothing wrong with it. And our society really um, mitigates feeling. We're
Mhm.
always like, oh, just appear strong, patch whatever feelings or just ignore them. And that is not healthy. When it's as something as simple as your routines, you need to have emotions with that. And even when it comes to grieving,
Mhm.
we must be, we must honor our feelings.
We have to. I think that's something that's I was just talking about how social media has changed so much in our society where we have to think how we're supposed to have big butts and big boobs, and we need to change our appearance or think about our weight gain or weight loss or whatever. We shouldn't have that society, or social media teach us that, because we have little girls that are, look at these things and be like, oh well. And I tell my daughter all the time, you're beautiful, you're smart, you're amazing, you're talented. Don't let nobody ever take that away from you, because this is what made you you. And this
Exactly.
is what made this what God has created you. But we got to get this flowing and get this back on a positive energy note. So
Everything is relevant though, Erica. Like this is very relevant now.
it is relevant, and I like the fact that I'm sharing it with people the more episodes that I'm doing, because it's going to teach that we need to break this stigma from people, and that everybody is, whether you're having a bad day or you're just having a rough week, it's okay to have those things. And I like how you're teaching me to create the boundaries, more boundaries that I need, because I need a nap, by the way. I'm not in that nap.
Step at a time, Erica.
A step and a climb. So let's talk about a mother's mental load that we carry. So, how do you see productivity helping mothers carry the load less, instead of doing it more?
Yeah. So I want you guys to make the decision going forward to let enough be enough,
Mhm,
because our mental load will continue to stack. We have laundry, we have dishes, we have the home, we have our children's health, we have their extracurriculars, we have this, we have our own health. What is even that? Like, there's so much that people need from us that
mhm,
I want it to start with a simple decision to say, I'm going to put my time and energy into the things that are most important.
mhm,
And then from there, the rest can be let go. So I want you guys to, starting tonight, once you listen to this, the perfect thing is the first thing is tonight, right? So
mhm,
I want you to write down your 6 main objectives you're going to accomplish tomorrow and the tasks within those objectives. Remember, I shared that's the power of 6.
mhm,
As well as I want you to reflect and recalibrate. Reflect and recalibrate is to look back on your day, and you can just jot down some notes. I have one client, she's like, Lisa, I'm not going to write a diary. I'm like, it could be as simple as the things that are on your mind, the things that feel heavy. It doesn't
mhm,
need to be a whole journal entry. It can be today was a great day or today was a hard day, and you can share and unpack it, because we want to shift the idea of productivity from go, go, go
mhm,
to breath and fluidity and flow. And so when we look at this, it's saying, here's my 6 objectives. Here's what I was able to accomplish today. Here's what I was not able to accomplish. Here's where I'm going to pick up and carry tomorrow. And here's what I'm going to leave into today. And a lot of times what we're leaving into today is maybe some of the negative emotions or the things that happen to us. And what are we going to carry in tomorrow? We're going to carry a grateful heart. And here's the things we're going to do. And so I actually, this last year, I released with the Power of 6. We trademarked it last year. We received trademark approval. It was very exciting. I created the Power of 6 journal. And so within the journal, I'll just share, mine is full today because I was taking notes and all of that stuff. But here's my Power of 6 with my 6 main objectives. And you can see like I did some extra things and I have a couple. Oh, here's our meeting. Like there's on there. And so in here, I just need to write today on reflection. I'm going to write the things I'm grateful for, things to remember. Like here's some things I'm going to do on this page, and then reflect, calibrate what went well today, what didn't go well, and what am I going to move into tomorrow. And what I love about this, it's available on Amazon. People can buy it. It's 6 months. So what I love about 6 months is we can look back and say, wow, look at what we did on day 1 versus this last day of 6 months. We can create goals and intentions. So, for you this year, Erika, alignment is huge. So I'd love for you to pick 3 areas that you want to work on alignment. It sounds like self-care, naps, right? It sounds like family time and breath, and then probably alignment with your business as well. So what does that look like tangibly? And so when we look at productivity, it's forward movement, but it's not all going to happen tomorrow. So I want you to ask yourself, what is necessary for me to do today to move forward, and what be done in the future. And I even have a section in the back. It's called Big Ideas, because like you and I were talking about before the recording, you have so many ideas you want to implement. You put them back there. God will decide when it's time to happen, And so for now, you're just managing the things that are helping you create forward movement. And then the rest is letting it go and accepting it. And that is peace. And that's also, people don't talk about this, but being anxious is in opposition to trusting the Lord. When we trust in the Lord, we know He's got it. We are just managing the things that we have our control.
Letting go, kind of like letting go and letting it flow and let Him handle it without you even touching it.
Letting it go and letting it flow. Yeah. That's why I also trademarked fun, free, and flowing, because I ask my clients all the time, is your business feeling fun, free, and flowing? And they're like, no. I'm like, okay, this is what we're going to do. We're going to get it there. Like you want it to be fun. You want it to feel free and create that freedom, and you want it to flow, which means that it fits in. Your business should fit into your life and not the other way around.
I like that. I am going to take upon on your homework tonight and actually do that, because I really do believe I want to start journaling for 2026.
Good.
And I think journaling is so fascinating, which I did add that on my vision board. So I want to start journaling really, really soon. But before we wrap up, let's end this with a little fun. So I have a little game. It's a fun rapid fire before we do our closing here.
Yeah.
And I want to know a little bit more about you. So, do you prefer early mornings or slow evenings?
Oh, I'm a lion all the way, which means I take a big bite out of my morning. After 6 p.m., I'm done. So
morning. Okay. Are you a paper planner, a digital planner, or a little bit of both?
Paper planner. That's why I use my Power of 6 every day.
I like it. Okay. One productivity habits you swear by?
My reflection period. That is huge for me because it allows me to release the day and anticipate the next one.
I like it. Okay. One habit you've completely let go of?
One habit I've completely let go of. The desire to work all the time. I've really in the past 3 years, I don't have to work all the time.
I think what's exciting about that is a lot of people I've noticed, like a lot on TikTok, that there's more content creators that say they don't want to do this 9 to 5 anymore and they just want to live freely. So I'm working on that. I'm trying to get there.
Good. You'll get there, Erika. We'll work on it.
We're going to work on it. One boundary that changed your life.
One boundary that changed my life was, believe this or not, honoring my commitments. So a boundary line for myself is oftentimes I'm like, do I want to do something or do I not? If I've already said yes to it, I will honor it to the fullest.
Right.
And I just won't say yes again. So honoring my commitments is very important to me because that's something that's in opposition to society. You know, since post COVID, people are like, I don't feel like going out. I don't feel like doing this. But if I've told someone I'm going to be there, I'm going to be there,
Show up.
even if it's past 6 p.m.
Perfect. Thank you. And then I have two more. What is a non-negotiable that you're willing or have protected surrounding you?
A non-negotiable for me has been my power of six. So anyone that calls me is like, hey, you want to go do this? Not today, because my power of six is already, it's already in the flow.
Mm-hmm.
I've never been a spontaneous person. I'm a planner by nature.
Mm-hmm.
And so that one has been a huge thing for me. It's like, nope, this is what I'm going to do. And we can do it another time. I'm really good about offering other times, but I am going to make sure I honor what I set forth today.
I like that. You need to be in my friend circle, okay? One word you want moms to feel more of this year.
Confident. I want you to be your best self. I want you to be confident. I want you to know that God placed those people
Mm-hmm.
in your life for a reason. It is not a mistake. And I want you to take ownership of that title, and I want you to honor it. And so confident, I want you to be confident in your position.
I like the word confident. I'm going to add that with alignment for my 2026.
Ooh, confident alignment. So even when something feels hard, you're moving forward.
That is true. Now, my last question for you, Lisa, would be what does balanced boss life look like for you in this season, in your faith, your family, and in your work?
Okay, that's a big question. Okay. Balanced boss life means honoring my commitments, having
Mm-hmm.
breadth in my day, not going constantly,
Mm-hmm.
doing what I say I'm going to do. So when I say I'm going to show up to Bible study, I'm actually hosting Bible study this year. So I have to show up for it, right? I'm teaching all the ladies. I'm actually taking the whole Bible, or I'm taking the ladies through the whole Bible in a year. I've gone through it twice. This will be my third time. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
actually teaching
I
them
like
how
that.
to book and all of this stuff. So if I say I'm going to be there, I'm going to do it. I'm going to make sure I'm honoring my commitments every day. And I know that if I can't handle it, God's got the rest. He is asking me to do certain things. If I do those certain things, everything's going to work out just fine. And guess what? It always has. It really has. Even amidst the
Mm-hmm.
hard and the pain and the struggle,
Mm-hmm.
I've come out a refined person. We think about, and Paul, when Paul's writing, he's writing Ephesians and Philippians, he's in prison, and he said he's still content and he is filled with joy. And that's a reminder to us in
Mm-hmm.
our prison. We can choose to see the light, and we can choose to walk with God versus alone,
Mm-hmm. Like I've when I was especially growing up in the church room where I've learned walk by sight, not by walk by faith, not by sight, and that's something that's been really huge. Because
Oh
we
my gosh, I
often
think that's, oh my gosh, Erica, look it. That is my sweatshirt
did I
today.
really just
Walk
say
by
that?
faith, not by sight.
I'm telling you, it just came to me. Walk by faith,
I
not by sight.
didn't.
It's meant to be for this podcast. So
You didn't even know that
I didn't even
because
know that, and I just said it like it came. I promise you, it just came to
that's a
me.
God thing right there, Erica.
That really was because I was like, wait a minute, did this just really just like a yin and a yang really quickly?
That's so
Well,
crazy.
Lisa, thank you so much for your wisdom, your honesty, and your heart. The conversation really felt so great to have, felt so grounding and freeing for me. I know when people listen to this soon, it's going to be rewarding to hear the response of what other people are going to share with me about this episode. So, without further ado, my friend, where can listeners find you? Because we have something to speak about that's coming soon. We do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So you guys can find me so easily on Instagram, Lisa Autry Coaching. I am always in direct messages. So after listening to this, if you have a question, feel free to direct message me. I love connecting with women, and I love to see how I can support you. Also, Erica, with your permission, I would love to give them a gift. Is that okay?
Sure. Go ahead.
Okay. So you guys have heard a little bit about my productivity. What I'd love to gift you is my flow program, organizing your time for freedom. I built an acronym to go with the power of six to help you make decisions on where you're going to put your time and your energy and help you align your time
Mhm.
for that freedom. Productivity doesn't have to feel heavy and cumbersome. It can feel fun, free, and flowing. And so this workbook and audio course that I'm going to give is going to help you walk those steps so that you can truly be that person. It's so much more than, oh, I'm just going to make a cute schedule. It's like really understanding what's important to you and
Mhm.
walking that. So you guys can find it. Erica, will they find it in the show notes? And make sure you
Mhm.
use the organize because you can get the program for free.
Yes. So it is going to be in the show notes that is on the website, the Balanced Boss Mom podcast. You just take the out of the website. So balancedbossmompodcast.com. So it's going to be on the Be a Guest section under the episode recap. So you will get to see a little bit more with Lisa about her website, who she is, where she's from, including the freebie that's going to be in the show notes as well. One more surprise that we have is it's going to be phenomenal. Lisa is coming back on the
Yes.
podcast. So I am very, very excited for you to come back. The next episode will be coming very, very soon. I'm going to do a launch date a little bit closer to the time frame, but this is a little surprise, just a little heads up. She's coming back on the podcast here soon. So you're going to learn a little bit more about productivity and a little bit more about the lessons that I'm going to introduce and have fun with as well. So, Lisa, thank you so much again for being on this podcast. I
You.
hope you have had so much fun with me this evening.
I
If you
have.
guys don't know where to follow me, of course, my website is balancedbossmompodcast.com. I'm also on YouTube and I stream on every platform except for XM Radio. So just like, comment, subscribe. Um, Leave a review. Tell me what you think about the episode. Tell me what you think about all the episodes. What's your favorite? I'm also have a Facebook group. So Lisa, I got to add you into the Facebook group right after this. The tongue tiedness. Anyways, until next time, as I always state to you guys, my boss moms, the women of my life, I love you. The man of my life, love you. I know you probably are not going to listen to this, but love you too. But stay grounded. Have fun with life. We only get one life to live. The time is not always the essence. Time is valuable and you just have to share with the loved ones that you have surrounded with you. So, Lisa, is there any other remarks you would like to leave on a good note with this episode?
I just want to leave with you have to make the decision to lead your life differently. I know you have everything within you. It's time to get going and let's make 2026 the best year yet.
Well, you guys heard her. 2026 is going to be so much fun. It almost feels like 2016. Almost in reverse. But everything we learned in 2016, that was my 20s. So we're not going to go there. All right. Well, again, you guys, I hope you enjoyed this podcast episode, whether you're listening or you're watching on YouTube. Until next time, my name is Erika, the host of the Balanced Boss Mom podcast. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Yay!